Test, test, test. Are we live? I believe we are, friends. Let me wind down this music. Let me remove this background. No, that didn't work. What do I need to do here? Oh boy. How's that? There we go. Hello, friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This is Daniel Midson-Short, live again after 5 months, 5.5, maybe almost 6 months away. I'm back, and clearly I'm very incompetent at live streaming once again. It really is a skill that you have to develop over time. It's fascinating. There's so many things going on in the background on the dashboard, and cool things you want to press all the buttons, but then it doesn't quite work as you plan. So here we are, we're live. We are exactly 1 day late from what I had hoped to. I'd hoped to stream yesterday, but I was feeling a bit under the weather due to getting a flu shot. So I decided to push back to today, and here we are. Here we are, friends. So thank you if you are joining us live right now, and thank you if you are watching this later. I also appreciate you very much and would love your comments and feedback to anything that we're talking about here today. This is a little bit of a channel update, a chance to AMA if you have something you want to ask me or comment on or discuss. Would love to do that with you if you would like to be engaged. And if not, it'll just be me rambling about things that will hopefully make sense in some way. So that's what we're up to today, friends. Great to be back. Hopefully the camera's looking good. Mic's sounding good. If you can hear a little bit of a whirring sound in the background, that's because there's a fan running behind me because it is hot in California. It is currently 90 degrees where I am in Long Beach, California. It has been for a week or so, and I am sweating. So I'm going to power through this anyway. Got a nice bottle of water here in case I need it. So yeah, we're gonna roll through this together, friends. We're gonna see how it goes, and hopefully this will be the start of a new phase for the channel. So there we go. So yeah, if you have comments or questions as we go through, please pop them in the chat. Would love to hear from you. Would love to answer any questions, and we'll go through from there. I've got a couple of topics that I want to cover today in this live stream. As I said, there will be a bit of an update of where we're at. Also talking about where my headspace has been at the last couple of months and why I haven't been posting videos or doing live streams or anything like that. And also we're going to talk about how much I've earned from YouTube. That's a question I've had from a few people privately in the past. I thought I'm just going to put it out there publicly if you're curious about that as well. There's a lot of different angles and things that people want to know about that kind of thing. So yeah, so there we go. So hopefully that's of interest for you. And we'll get rolling here. I need my glasses to see what I'm actually doing because I've reached that age, my friends, where I can't quite see without my specs. But yeah, let's talk first of all. First topic of the day is going to be YouTube channel growth. This is something that I am still, to this day, quite astounded by in some respects, because right now, today, I think we have over 15,250 or thereabouts subscribers to the channel, which is incredible. That's a mini stadium if you think about the amount of people who are subscribed to this channel. I know not everyone is as active as that, but yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think that you've somehow impacted those people enough to actually want to connect and stay subscribed to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Truly appreciate it if you're here. It is interesting, when you're on this journey as, let's say, a YouTuber, as I call myself in some respects, you do obsess about the stats. And you get into this habit of looking at your analytics and thinking, oh, if only I had this many viewers or this many clicks or this many subscribers or whatever, then I'd be happy. And it's a constant horizon that you never reach, basically. So being today at 15,000 subscribers is an absolute honor and a privilege, and I'm grateful. But it also, at the same time, it's just a number, and it's something that I can't wrap my value around as a creator, as someone here, because if you do, you'll end up frustrating yourself because then you'll want the next goal and the next goal. And in the world we live in today, there is so much comparisonitis, so much ability to look at someone else and compare yourself unfavorably that I think it's just not worth getting into. So I'm truly grateful for everybody who is here. Thank you for anyone who has subscribed in the last, say, 6-12 months. While I haven't been as active, that means a lot to me. A couple of videos are still doing very well out there. But I promise you, as we grow and evolve this channel, hopefully this will become more valuable for you if you have chosen to subscribe. So that's the first thing, is YouTube channel growth. And I really wanted to acknowledge that up front because I haven't really up till now. So thank you. Second thing I want to talk about today is how much do I make on YouTube? And the reason I want to be more transparent with this, I think, is because two reasons really. Number one, because a lot of people have asked me that just privately or DM me or whatever, people who are wanting to do the same thing. And they say, hey, you got a decent amount of subs here. You got some videos with some good views. How much do you make, man? How much money you got? It's weird because you wouldn't do that in any other profession, but on YouTube, people think that they should know how much you make, and there's statistics out there of how much YouTubers make. But I'm just going to tell you flat out that it's probably not as much as you think. And I'm going to show you actually today, if I can do this the right way, if I can share my screen and I can share my channel analytics. This should work. There we go. I'm going to show you directly exactly how much I've earned for all time since I ever started this channel, which was almost 15 years ago, which is crazy. But I would say the true growth began again around, you can see there, mid 2020. That's when it really started to spike. Since the start of this channel, we have made $4,573 total, which, believe me, I'm, again, very grateful for. Amazed that I've been able to generate that from just views on videos, mostly ad revenue. There's been a couple of little channel donations and things like that I think are in there as well, but the vast majority is ad revenue from views, which is great. If I break this down a little bit more, I think I have the last 2 years. You can see a lot of it came in 2024. There was a lot of growth that year, and it has done very well. $1,292 in 2024. In 2025, obviously, it's been a lot less, $540, because I haven't been as involved with the channel and I haven't been uploading. And YouTube does value when you upload content because it can push it out to its audience. It can run more ads. That's just a reality of it. But yeah, overall, if you look at that, if I go back to the lifetime value of the channel, $4,573, that's pretty incredible. I think if anyone offered you that kind of volume of money and said, hey, have $4,500, you'd be like, thank you. That's great. I appreciate it. And it's come in, ebbs and flows. For several months there, I was making $100, $150 a month, especially during 2023, 2024. Now it's probably about, I don't know, $45, $50 a month. So it's not a huge amount, but still it is something. And I'm still very aware that it's of value and I am getting rewarded for it. So thank you for anyone who's watched and has contributed to that. But yeah, if you were curious, there you go. That's how much I've made and that's how much I continue to make. And I'll be honest, the goal isn't really to make a lot of money from YouTube these days. I have a business that is growing and is quite successful in terms of what I want it to be. It affords me a good lifestyle for me and my wife and where we want to go. But at the same time, it's not, I'm not a person who wants to, have billions of dollars. Maybe 25 years, 15 years ago, I would have been that person. Today, in my late 40s, I'm very content with where I am. And having the amount of money I have is great, but it's not the reason that I'm on YouTube and I'm doing this today, because the reality is you don't make as much as you think, especially if you're trying to make a career out of it. So with that in mind, I want to talk about something that is kind of important to understand, I think, because there is a tendency, and we've seen this in the YouTube world over the last couple of years, a lot of people quitting YouTube or retiring or whatever, leaving the platform for different reasons. Some because they just kind of outgrew it, some because they burned out, some because it wasn't as lucrative as they thought. And I think all of us as creators go through these ebbs and flows, right? Where we are very motivated to create content, to share things for whatever reason. Again, financial reasons, fame, popularity, recognition. We have our own reasons why we do it. On the other side, we also lose motivation. And that has happened to me definitely over the years, where I've ebbed and flowed. Sometimes I've been, can't wait to create another video. I'm really excited about an idea and pumped to edit it and put it out there. Other times I'm really dragging myself to, put on a happy face and put something out there, because not only are you having to kind of create the idea and develop it and write it and put it together, but you're having to deliver it as well. You're having to actually perform in a respect. And that can be very hard to do week after week after week. So yes, so that has been a challenge for me. And I would say especially the last year and a half, that has been a significant challenge, because as many of you know, this channel grew on the back of mostly, first of all, book reviews, and then kind of, I would say, quasi self-help, personal development, instructive type content. And then it started to specialize more in men's self-help, challenges that men have today in their lives. And with that came a lot of good and a lot of bad. I think last year I had more interactions and fast growing videos than I've ever had on my whole channel. And that was because I started to niche down and target a specific demographic of men in their 30s and 40s, and men especially who were struggling with finding their path or things they wanted to do. So that caused a lot of growth, which is wonderful, and it caused more revenue, which is awesome. But it also caused a particular audience to appear on my channel, and there was a lot of positive feedback, and there was some critical negative feedback. And as much as you don't want that to affect you, the truth is when you're a creator, when you're putting yourself out there like I was week after week, trying to push my personality and trying to share my ideas with the world, when you get criticized or you get questioned, sometimes it just causes your motivation to wane. And that's not the only reason. Obviously, I shared this in a previous live session too. I also restarted my own business this year, or very late last year into this year. So I've been busier than I've been in a few years in terms of my work load and getting that where I want it to be. And again, I'm very fortunate that I'm getting to a position now where it's quite successful and I'm happy with it. But that has been another big energy drain as well. And so, yeah, I kind of lost my motivation for the channel, and I would find myself looking at the comments because I can see all the new comments on each video. And I would kind of just, I used to reply to all of them. I used to like them. I found myself less and less was I interacting. Less and less was I interested in kind of being part of the discussions that were popping up, particularly on the videos around being single in your 30s, or the ones about men losing hope and losing direction in life, because frankly, that wasn't who I was anymore. When I made those videos, I was that person. I was going through that. At this stage of my life, I'm past that. And you know what? That's totally okay. If you have put something out into the world and now you've evolved past it, that's normal. I think that's a healthy thing. And when we have a YouTube channel or we have a blog or whatever we have, a social media account, you can see past versions of yourself actually there online displayed. The weird thing with YouTube is people still find it in the current time. So you are not the same person, but those videos are kind of displaying that you are this person, if that makes sense. So they're showing the world a outdated or a previous version of you that doesn't exist anymore. And you have a choice. You can either kind of interact as that old version of yourself, or you can kind of do what I did, which is ignore it, to be honest. So that's kind of where I was at for the last 4, 5, 6 months. I just kind of went inside a little bit, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to enjoy life. I'm going to spend time with family, with my wife and my friends. I've done a lot of gardening the last 6 months, which I know probably sounds very nerdy, but I've really been enjoying doing that. It's been very rewarding. I've been reading a lot. I've been gaming a little bit more. I hadn't done that properly for a couple of years. I've been just enjoying life on top of running my business. And that has been very fun. Frankly, it's just been fun. I wouldn't say fruitful. I wouldn't say beneficial, but I've enjoyed myself. And I have read a lot in that time. You can say I always have all my, my books here that I read all the time, and they're always, I always go back to them, and I've learned a lot of lessons that are very profound in the last couple of years around spirituality and inner development. So a lot of that is in line with where I want to go. And I think finally I'm refinding my motivation. I think I'm finally starting to sense that, hey, I want to start to put out ideas and share things in the world once again. And this is one of the formats that I want to do it. Now, I want to show you guys, I did mention this on the last live stream as well, but I do actually have a blog that I've been creating. If I go to, where is it? Let me see here. If I go here, so this website, which is called Spiritualize, is something that I've been creating for the last year or so. I haven't updated it a ton the last year or so, but there are a lot of different articles that I have created here. Well, I say a lot, I think there's 4, but they're very in-depth, deep dives into different spiritual elements. And I have a couple of them that are in draft format that are going to go up in the next couple of weeks as well. But these are essentially the direction that I'm heading in in terms of my own inner development and where I want to go as a person. So this website, spiritualize.co, is live right now. You can read some of the stuff I've been writing over the last year or so. Some of it I've just updated recently, refreshed it a little bit because I kind of learned a little bit more. But I think this is the direction that the channel is going. And I don't want you to think it means, I'm going to become religious or become some sort of guru or something like that. I'm still this exact same person. But I definitely think there is a broader perspective that I'm starting to understand about myself and my inner development that I want to share on this channel. What that probably means is that it's going to scare some people off. We'll have some unsubscribes. We'll have some negative comments. We'll have some people who are angry that I'm talking about topics like, what is a spiritual journey, right? Like there's a lot of depth in here that we can go into. But I think that that is a good thing because it's actually going to make people expand their consciousness, their understanding, and hopefully compel them to develop as well. So even if it causes some frustration or unrest, I'm more than happy for that to happen. If it causes the channel to diminish a little bit, that's great. That's a risk I'm willing to take because I think these topics are really the area that I want to go into. I've grown a lot myself, and I think I can offer the world a lot. So with that in mind, what I really want to talk about is the evolution of the channel. And I did cover this a little bit several months ago, 4 or 5 months ago, when I talked about where I want to go with this. And I want to just cover it again quickly because at the time I had all these ambitions and ideas, but also had a big travel schedule coming up. And so I wasn't really on top of it. Now I'm getting to a point, the year's calming down. I've got time to do this. So I want to start to do more live streams again, more shows, if you like, as they tend to get called these days. And they are going to be under the banner of the topic Spiritualize, because that's the name of the website that I created. That's the sort of broad, topic heading that I'm going to cover. And I want to really try to stick under that and show people, some new perspectives and ideas. So there's a lot of people who I greatly admire in this space, and I want to share those with you as well. So there might be some book reviews, there might be some article deep dives, there might even be some video discussions and things. We'll look at other people's videos and, talk about those as well. I don't exactly know how this is going to work, but I do know my goal is to have a weekly live stream on Wednesday afternoons, my time here in California, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, and I believe that is 7 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time for those of you in Australia or around the world. So yeah, if you would like to join me for those live streams, I'm going to try to be very consistent during September, October. I have a little travel coming up at the end of October and then into November, December, and we'll see how we go. And with that in mind, I do have, if I just go back here for a second, I do have a list of topics. No, I need my glasses. Welcome to Daniel's world. Oh, my friends, if you aren't there yet, one day you will be. This is a list of topics that I've created just recently around like headings that I want to work on for the website, not for the website, sorry, for the shows that I want to do, the live stream shows. So yeah, so these are some of the ones that I want to cover. What is spiritual growth? What's a spiritual journey? The map of consciousness, power versus force, the power of letting go, parallel realities. That's a very interesting one. Frequency and energy, coincidence and synchronicity, prosperity and abundance. We've covered a little bit before, but I want to go more into that. And then simulation theory. So yeah, these are all things that I've been studying and thinking about and discussing with people over the last year or two. And I would love to do a deeper dive through the show Spiritualize. So hopefully this will be of interest to you, of value to actually discuss and get into a little bit. But these are some of the topics that I have. There'll be more than this, obviously, and I'm sure they'll branch off. But the idea is to have maybe a 30-minute show, if we can, 30-minute show per week where I'll deep dive into one of these topics. I'll probably then cut up a portion of that into a video and then post it on the channel as well. So if you do miss the live stream, you can see the kind of, the synopsis of what we talk about. But it will be a great challenge for me to get back into sharing content and actually showing, the world what I'm thinking about, what I'm feeling, what I'm evolving and becoming. And hopefully that will be of interest to you as well. So there we go, my friends. So those are the 4 things I wanted to cover today. So the channel growth, which I really acknowledge, the earnings that I've had over the last couple of years, how much I've made, then also refining my motivation, starting to understand why I want to do what I'm doing and sort of aligning with who I am now as a person instead of trying to be a previous version of who I used to be. and then obviously the evolution of the channel and what we're going to try to do week over week moving forward. So, in synopsis, I feel very excited about where we're at. I wanted to do this live stream today because I do think this format is more genuine for me. You know, I've done many videos over the years, a couple of hundred recorded, pre-recorded videos, and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But there is a performative aspect to those where I'm kind of, I'm putting on a little bit of a front, or I'm doing takes of saying the same thing. Whereas this format, it's raw. I'm just saying exactly what's coming out. What's in my head comes out of my mouth, and you hear it fresh. And hopefully, it makes sense. You resonate with it. And if we say something of value, or there's a discussion that pops up, it's ours. It's not just mine, it's ours. And that's really, really important for me to get across moving forward with this channel, is that it belongs to all of us. I may be the face, I may be the voice, the figurehead, whatever you want to say, the driver of the direction, but this channel belongs to you. These ideas belong to you as much as they are mine. And I want you to know that that is just as valuable to me. So yes, so that is pretty much it for today. It doesn't look like we have any comments or questions, which is totally okay. I have been away for a long time. So my hope is, as I do more of these live streams once a week on Wednesdays, that we will build an audience again. I would love to have the interactions we used to have, but it has been a privilege to be able to watch this channel grow, to be, the whatever you want to say, the mouthpiece for it, but to actually watch it grow and to watch this start to evolve into something I never expected. So again, if you are watching this live, or you are actually watching this afterwards, truly, truly appreciate you. And I'm excited for the future. So with that, I think we'll keep it short and sweet today, my friends. I hope this has been of use to you. And I look forward to seeing you next week for the pilot episode of Spiritualize. Got some work to do. But yeah, I'll see you next Wednesday. Until then, thanks for watching. And thank you for improving yourself.